Hey, I'm Tei Shi, and these are the records in my life.
Hi guys, thanks for watching Records in My Life. We're here with Tei Shi. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
As you know, this is called Records in My Life, and we talk about your favorite records. But first, let's talk a bit about what's been going on in your life. How's the road going and your new record? And
yeah, it's been good. The record, my debut came out March 31st, so it's been a minute now. Kind of like had a chance to sit with it. It's been good. It's been really awesome getting the music out there finally, because I kind of sat on it for a bit and took my time to make it. And it's been really great to go out and play it live. This has been like, we're kind of just nearing the end of this tour, which has been the longest tour I've ever done, and my first like full headline tour through the US and Canada. So it's been a huge learning experience for me. It's been really fun, to be honest. I feel like it's been the most fun I've had on the road so far.
excellent.
Yeah.
So you've lived in, you've lived in Argentina, and you grew up in a bit of Colombia, back and forth into Vancouver and back in Colombia, and now you live in Los Angeles. Quite a number of places. Sorry, New York, that's right. What about some music from Colombia? Is there an album or an artist?
There's a lot of really great Colombian music. I feel like, especially right now, you're seeing a lot of kind of artists coming out of like the DIY, like internet culture. But I think like what comes right to the top of my head and is probably the most like relevant to my childhood and stuff is actually one of the early Shakira albums before she started singing in English, putting out music and like exploded worldwide. She was just a girl from Colombia, and she was kind of like a singer-songwriter. She kind of was like an Alanis Morissette vibe and was pretty big in Colombia and South America, but nobody knew who she was outside of it, really. And this album called Pies Descalzos was like the album that she really took off with in South America. And I listened to that a ton when I was a little girl. Like my older sisters would listen to it, and she actually performed at my sister's high school graduation.
That's incredible.
So I saw her perform, and like she was like, her songwriting, especially in Spanish and like those early records I love, and was a big part of my childhood. So that album for sure, a great Colombian record.
You covered a really nice version of Beyonce. First of all, tell us what single it was, and tell us a favorite album of hers.
I covered the song No Angel by Beyonce, which was on her album Beyonce, her self-titled album, the surprise album, the first one before Lemonade. I love Beyonce. She has so many great albums. I think I really love that album because it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I feel like she kind of switched gears, and it was definitely a statement, and like creatively and sonically was outside of anything she'd done before, and I think it's a wonderful album. But I also have kind of gone back and started listening to her first solo album. I forget what it's called. Was it Crazy in Love? No, Crazy in Love. I don't know. I can't remember what that album is called. I can see the album cover on it. But I love that album. It's like just perfect R&B and like early 2000s production, and her voice is incredible, and it's kind of like she just had started stepping into the solo spotlight. So I love that record. I hate that I can't remember the name of it right now. Yeah.
Well, do you enjoy, here's something, a random thing. Do you enjoy, are you a cook? Do you enjoy cooking at home when you're off the road?
I do really like cooking. I don't do that much of it anymore, I have to say, because I'm on the road and because my life is kind of unpredictable these days. Just my like scheduling, I don't really have a routine anymore. So I haven't been able to cook in a while, which is kind of killing me. But I do love to cook. It's like one of the things I find the most kind of therapeutic and cathartic.
When you do get
delicious.
the odd chance to cook a meal, is there a record that you enjoy listening to?
Yeah, it always has to be something that's very like, that sets like a vibe, like a very kind of chill and pleasant vibe. So something I've been listening to a lot in general, but that I've found has been good for like cooking and downtime is the album, the new album by Andy Schauf. The Party.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I love that album, and it's like kind of, that album is like the perfect thing that I want to listen to when I'm like at home just chilling or cooking or whatever. So yeah, that's definitely one.
So is there a record that you're just discovered that you're obsessing over these days? Yeah.
Well, so the record is Do Hollywood by the Lemon Twigs, and I had kind of started listening to them a little while back and was aware of like the singles they'd put out and was into it, but I only recently listened to the full album, and it's just been on rotation like while I've been on the road. So that's been a great discovery, like one of those where you actually want to listen to the whole album over and over and over again. Yeah.
They're very talented young lads.
Yeah. Yeah. They're great.
Have you had a chance to see them live?
I haven't seen them live. Yeah. I tried to see them at South by Southwest this year, but like I was also like playing and just had it's just crazy down there to try and achieve anything. So I wasn't able to go see them, but I really want to see a show of theirs.
It's quite good.
I hear, that's what I hear. Have they played here in Vancouver?
They've played a couple times.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So, it's been such a fun interview. I hate to end on a bit of a somber note, but give us a record that will still pull at your heartstrings, or you like to listen to when you're a little blue. Yeah, there are a lot of those.
One particular one would be Teen Dream by Beach House. That album was just kind of came to me at a time when I was like going through a lot personally, and like it was like I was in a relationship where like I was introduced to the band by the person I was dating at the time, and so it became kind of like our little thing, like our album that we would listen to together, and it kind of just became really tied into this phase of my life and this relationship. And like I was living in Boston and going to school there, and I just would listen to it like on my way to school and back as the seasons were changing, and it's one of those really nostalgic albums for me, and it's just an amazing album. And I feel like sonically it's the perfect thing that you want to listen to when you're kind of just wanting to be introspective and like, you know, have kind of that companion to your sadness. I think that album that does it for me.
Super, super. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.